Thank you, Dr. Enrique Lopez, for the conference that he just gave us. And we invite you finally, Dr. Chulde Vladimir, in his speech about residual biomass pyrolysis by microwaves, bioproducts, and biofuels generated.
Well, good afternoon. I represent INER, National Institute of Renewable Energies in Ecuador, and my topic today is the research of biomass. My group, which I belong to, pyrolysis of residual biomass through microwaves. General topics is bioproduct and biofuel generation and assessment of yield and experiences in research. In Ecuador, we have the Ministry of Energy has raised zero fossil fuel in Galapagos Islands. That's why they use biomass from which they extract an oil, Jatopacurca or pineapple. This oil is sent to Galapagos Island. They mix with diesel and they consume it to produce energy or to move vehicles. In the procedure of extraction, they obtain kind of a cake. It is a pineapple cake. It is what we do research upon. In technical terms, we have pyrolysis. It is 400, 600 degree in absence of oxygen in inert environment, or also we have flash pyrolysis, which lasts 3 to 5 minutes, where we obtain coal, oil, and gases. This gas could be synthesized. Also, there's another method where we pass through biomass. We use solid or municipal waste. We do a previous classification, and we do gasification where we obtain ashes, and these ashes could be used as a fertilizer or a catalyst, depending on the raw materials. And synthesis gas, which is purified with molecular metalysis. We do research with Cielita from southern Ecuador. The method, firstly, we have a biomass from pineapple. This is ground. Then after there's a dry 7 to 10% of moisture, and then after this enters into a microwave reactor. It keeps a 500 degree temperature, constant temperature. This is progressively increased in 15 minutes. After the furnace, the kiln increased the temperature, the matters enter. It remains 4 to 5, 6 minutes generally in this microwave reactor. After they obtain carbon or coal, it could become pellets depending on the type of destination. Also, it could make different products depending on the product of pyrolysis. Then after, this is sent to a condensation unit where it is condensed and obtain a cake. They do analysis of bio-oil, they obtain alcohols and ethers. Gases that is not condensed continues with circulation to a gas purifier. We use what is molecular filters, and afterwards purified gas could be sent to a combustion turbine for electric generation. Carbon used could be mixed with non-cellulosic materials, because it cannot be combined alone because it is not agglutinant. We use the shells of piñón. They obtain piñón. It was being wasted, this piñón, and we're giving a plus, and we enter into the system of a process where we mix with carbon, with coal. Then after this is mixed and pellets dry, and afterwards these are the characteristics of the final biomass. It has a high content of volatile carbon and very low ash content. This is very good for a pellet because it is after a pyrolysis process. The liquid fraction, we can see it, carbon content is low, but it has a high degree of oxygen and hydrogen. Nitrogen is also content, and this could be used as a fertilizer. Characteristics of IPR, or it is called index of fraction, where you can see the bonds present, and the priority of the presence of bio oil according to chromatography analysis. It could be octasulfur dichlorure of amylene and other compounds. Finally, out of this carbon cake, the heat power of this carbon is 2830, while we see that because the biomass heat power is 18, it increases heat power in a very good extent. And yields are very low due to the fact that this is a system that is recently implemented. We are trying to see best conditions depending on the temperature, but we have some drawbacks. The gas phase represents 70% and solid phase 30%. Solid phase is carbon, and gas phase is a gas that is not possible to condensate, and liquid phase. Liquid phase is 10%, and gas phase is non-condensable gas phase is 90%. Out of the liquid, we can have cuts of temperature from the chromatography gas procedure. We have a light cut, which is 17.2%, representing alcohols. Light cut is water, and middle cut is water, 42.88%, and heavy cut is related to oil. This represents 40%. This last could be added, not to waste it. It could be added in a process of pellets in order to increase heat power. The yield of the fraction is 7% out of the total of entrants. We're taking advantage of the whole liquid fraction. This would be an advantage for the process. Well, there are certain discussions of research taking into account that there are indications that the liquid fraction, liquid moiety, contains carbon, and there's the possibility of using the potential source of biofuels, since it contains hydrocarbons of a high diffusion. The liquid material obtained could correspond to a different procedure. We have analyzed with the equipment we have, and it has low content of carbon. This low carbon content is good because in a combustion this doesn't generate too many pollutants or carbon derivatives, and this represents 0.15%. As a conclusion, pyrolysis through microwaves represent advantages compared to conventional pyrolysis. In a reactor, as I told you before, this is approximately, it takes 5 to 10 minutes because if you leave it more, you make ashes. And this is applied to bioprocesses. It contains substances that could become biofuels. As I mentioned, we have methanol, ethanol, and some additives of gasoline. The presence of functional groups such as carbon bonds and hydrogen, BIO could contain alkanes, and it contains low carbon content. The solid moiety is a good source of energy according to composition. Carbon, as I told you, carbon is used as a pellet in order to be used in boilers or to be used in Galapagos Islands. This is a process being done 2 years ago, and we have a good acceptance. That's why pellets are being sent in order to add to boilers that work in sugarcane facilities for processes. And this is it about the research of what we do in INER Institute. Also, we do research, as we spoke about algae culture to obtain oils.